Hello everyone and welcome to Zappy Productions. Today will be the unboxing of the iFi GoPod here, and the reason I'm getting this is because, I have this, right? This is the, I would say as TRN BTXS20, I believe, or 20XS. Now, this guy's major issue is that the volume is quite low. Even at max out, it is not going to be extremely loud. I mean, it is listenable, but because you have no ANC, when you use it outdoors, especially next to a road, you do hope that you can get a little bit more volume. Though it never really clips before for me, I just hope that it has just that touch more volume itself. So I decided to get an iFi here because this guy supposedly has better connectivity, better power, and more volume. And I'm not even talking about sound quality today, because I think that requires a lot of changing and pulling out cables, which I won't be touching. It's a bit too complicated. Today I'll just try it out and hear how loud or how soft this is in comparison to my TRN. Now, I have heard this before in the shop, but it's not really accurate, because in the shop you don't really hear very loud, purely because it is a very quiet environment. So let's not waste time, let's unbox this and take a look inside. Now, this is not a very cheap product, it's quite expensive in fact. US price I believe is about 400 USD. I got it in Singapore by $580. It is still quite expensive. I got it from Jaben, in case you want to know. It's quite expensive still, but I do hope that it improves my experience slightly. Now, you'll be wondering, why do I want to fight for a better one? I mean, this is wireless, right? I've tried many TWS, and I think they are not satisfactory in any way. So this is the one I hope that will satisfy me, unlike the other TWS. So I do hope that this one gives me the volume, because TWS do give me the volume, just not the sound quality. And I'm fighting for the sound quality today. So this is the iFi here. USB-C charging below here, something to tear later, and then open up. This is the iFi. Now, the iFi, like my TRN, you can actually change. So in fact, in case you don't know, you can actually pull this thing out like this, right? So you can change the tip. So if you want the other tips, you can change it. So this one does it the same way. You can actually pull this up, and then you can actually replace it. So this kind of device, if I'm not wrong, this is my right side. Surprisingly tricky to get in, because the pins are quite recessed, so you have to use your feelings to get it in. Okay, got it in. So this is the device here. I'll just start tearing plastics away. Yeah, it feels great to tear new plastics away. Okay, and this is the device itself. Now, let's look at the case first. When you first open it up, there is lights. Oh, cool stuff. And then there's lights here. It does light it up nicely. I like how this case have a recess here, though I think that this case is unnecessarily large. They could have make it smaller and something, and then you can still recess this. So now this is my IEM, and this is the left side. Let's plug this in. So one of the best things that they did for this is that the tip itself, you can see here, is actually a small square. I did notice that a lot of IEMs these days, they are not flat. So let me explain to you. Look at this here. There is some cutout. There's some cutout for the two pins, in case you can see. So this cutout of two pin requires you to have a two pin that has a nice rectangle head, so that you can push it in deep. If not, you will not push it in deep, and it will be like floating. So I can just show you what I mean by this. So if you look at this doesn't have the cutout, the push. So when you do actually push in, you will notice that there is some gap. I don't know how to show you on the screen, but there is some gap here. You can just get what I mean. So just plug this in. Okay, great. So I've plugged this in. So now it's time for me to try it out. Now pairing it is quite simple. So you can see that I have tried GoPods a few times. I'm just going to remove all the previous GoPods. It's kind of stupid to have so many of them. And it's connected on top. So you can see that it's quite simple to connect. You just have to find it and just connect it. And it gets there. So now I'm going to try out with this track here, Ibarra, as my usual testing track. So I'm going to try how loud it goes and whether it will affect me. So just trying it out, you can see that the difference is actually quite huge when it comes to volume. Now volume is not power, by the way, it's just voltage. You can see that the volume here, this is pretty much the loudest that if I was using the PT20XS, this is the loudest. But you can see that the equivalent of the GoPod is not even near there. I mean, there's another 3 clicks in front. So you can get to deafening volumes. The other thing I did notice is that the GoPod does report its battery life nicely to the phone itself. So, you won't be surprised that you run out of battery halfway. So great stuff. And that's really about it. I mean, today is not a day that I will go in depth into sound quality, but I can just say that it sounds as good as what I expect out of the Moondrop variation. One of the best sounding IEMs you can get in the market today. And as you can see here, this is what I mean. This cavity here allows you to store your IEMs safely. I mean, this is a very expensive wireless device. I mean, $400, you can even buy a earphone with it. But it also means that this was meant for the most extreme of the IEMs, which some of them can get really, really large. I mean, those 12 drivers, 15 drivers, and customs can get really, really big. So this box is kind of like a future proof that, no matter what IEM you can throw in, you can probably fit it in. So that is great. And once you close the case, it all works out really, really nicely. So very nice itself. Now, what am I going to do with my previous one? I'm going to use it to run my cheaper IEMs or my affordable ones with like single drivers or 2 drivers type. And they probably don't need that much volume, so I'm going to enjoy it with this one. And if I lose it, this is like 10 Sing dollars, man. 10 Sing dollars. I can just don't really care, but this is really expensive. I mean, the combined price of this now is more than 1,000. So I really don't want to lose it. But the sound quality, the loudness, everything just makes it so much better. Now I will do a proper review in the future to compare both this and this. So $10 versus $400, does 40 times the price give you 40 times the quality? I'll probably look at very important things such as range, such as usability, easy to pair, or any form of other issues that you may face when you are actually utilizing such a product. I mean, my camera is going crazy now. I don't know why, but yeah. And there are many other things that I want to talk about, especially, just the usability of it. I know this is also supposedly to be IPX rated, so a bit of sweat, a bit of wetness won't spoil it, unlike the TRN. But this is so much smaller and so much more compact. This is so huge, but let's try it out in the future. Now, sound quality wise, I'm not really sure is there any difference. When I hear it, I really can't feel it, at least at the volumes. This does have a Cyrus Logic deck, so not too sure whether it will sound any better than the TRN, but that's for another day where I will compare it and then give you guys a feedback on that. And that's already about it. This is the review of the iFi, right? This is the iFi GoPod, and you can see here, really, really nice device. If you own high-end IEMs, this is something to actually consider. Saves you on your amp, saves you on cables. I mean, this is cheaper than some cables out there. I really do not know whether you should buy expensive cables or not. And many of you guys probably will still be using some Apple dongle or something along the line to just power your IEMs, because that's really all you need most of the time. Why not go wireless? And this is really it, rather than spending $1,000 on a cable. Controversial, right? But that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this short little video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.